Well, a happy lunchtime to you, one and all, my West Ham family. Hope you're safe and well, Russ from the West Ham Network. Now, on Monday, I did a two-parter. It's a bit like a Netflix sort of series, left it at a cliffhanger, and then at lunchtime, we spoke about it in a bit more detail. And it was talking about the summer rebuild and how it's clear. Once again, I think it's sort of rinse and repeat for the last 2 or 3 years. We've had to have a rebuild. One was sort of forced upon us with the sale of Declan Rice. One was forced upon us in terms of an aging squad, and this one's forced upon us as well with players out of contracts and stuff. We spoke about them. 5 players out of contract, yada yada yada, sellable, assets, and then according to Sean on West Ham Football and 𝙊𝙋𝙄𝙉𝙉, he mentioned that the club may be forced to sell a Paqueta, a Kudus, potentially, both maybe, to fund the summer rebuilding that will be posting a loss this football financial year. Doesn't fit within the normal financial years, but having posted a profit last year. And I think it was Nick actually on 𝙊𝙗𝙉𝙉 went, he sort of responded saying, actually, maybe we should hold on to Paqueta and Kudus. We've been out of Europe and that type of thing, and it could help us. And I totally agree. I don't want to sell Paqueta. I don't want to sell Kudus. I want to keep our best players. And people were saying, so West Ham selling our best players and da, da, da. But I think this is a factor of not, and for me, this is not a factor anything to do with Graham Potter. This is a factor of a squad which we bought inadequate players with little sell-on value, and that was what we were trying to do originally under Steidham, was to bring in players who could have a difference in terms of bringing them in, sell them, buy them low, sell them high. Yeah. Buy them low, sell them high. Yeah, sort of that type of thing. Sort of double your money, and then that obviously adds to the kitty for the next year. And again, this fabled, we've spoken about before, this fabled Brighton model. I mean, look at someone like Matoma, for example. They bought for less than £3 million, and the Saudi Pro League, they put a bit of 80-90 million pounds for him. Someone like Moses Caicedo, they bought for 4 million and sold him for over 100 million pounds. That's the blueprint, isn't it? That's what you want to do. And I think looking at it in a bit more detail, and it's simple because people said, we've got loads of deadwood. Let's sell the deadwood. But the trouble is, as I always say, it takes 2 to transfer, doesn't it? Not only is it a club's willingness to sell the player, but then someone needs to fucking buy them. And that's the issue with me. And I've realised I've missed one player out on my analysis, but I wouldn't worry too much. It's 𝙊𝙋𝙄𝙉𝙉. But I was doing some analysis, looking at, and again, this is just, I think this is from Football Transfers in terms of the estimations. But regardless of whether you think, I think these are lower than they should be for some players, it's sort of even across the group. They're all undervalued, I think. So it gives you a picture. That's our current squad, with the exception of 𝙊𝙗𝙄𝙉𝙉, who's not in there, and 𝙊𝙗𝙄𝙉 as well. So 𝙊𝙗𝙄𝙉, so the 2 players out on loan, so the current squad. Now, 𝙊𝙗𝙉 is an interesting character because obviously we've spoken about the potential of him coming back. And a win-win, and obviously that could help add to the coffers, the 𝙊𝙗𝙉 money. But that's the current West Ham squad as it is. Now, with that, I've taken out the players who are out of contract, unless obviously we sell them on, they sign a new contract and we sell them immediately after to protect the investment, but I can't see that happening. So that's Fabianski, that's Cresswell, that's Coufal, that's Danny Ings, and that is Antonio as well. They're all out of contract in the summer. Obviously, we'll welcome back 𝙊𝙗𝙉, and we'd welcome back 𝙊𝙗𝙄𝙉 as well, I think, as well. Now, 𝙊𝙗𝙄𝙉, you're not going to get a lot from him, to be honest. But, if we're looking theoretically at the numbers, and and not having to sell Paqueta or Kudus, for example, I would suggest those guys in yellow are sellable assets, so to speak. Now, I don't think we're going to get £26 million from Mavropanos. I don't think we're going to get £16 million for Rodriguez. I don't think we necessarily get £30 million for 𝙊𝙉𝙄𝙉. I don't think we're going to get £17 million for 𝙊𝙉𝙄𝙉. I don't think we're going to get £16 million for 𝙊𝙋𝙄𝙉. But that gives you some idea about how, yes, we do have a lot of deadwood. There is a lot of deadwood in the side. But unfortunately, that deadwood isn't going to be moved on necessarily unless they're out of contract. Also, we sell up, we save on wages. Someone asked about wages. With those 5 players, we don't renew their contract. So Antonio, Ings, I think you're looking at 450, 500 grand a week we would save on that. You know, Danny Ings alone is 125 grand. I think Antonio's on about 100 grand as well. So them two is almost £250,000 saved every week. But in terms of getting the numbers in to get the big players in and look at this rebuild, obviously we've been linked to the likes of Ricardo Rios from Palmeiras, Bazumi as well again, and various others. So, you know, what's his name? The guy from Real Sociedad, Perez. And so, looking at that there, Emerson, 10 million quid maybe to someone like, I don't know, Roma, Mavropanos. I think if we got 15 million, if you got our money, I mean, I think we paid about 19 million, didn't we? I think if you got 15 million for Mav, but again, who's going to buy him? I can't really see a Premier League side. He could go back to the Bundesliga potentially. Rodriguez would be go back to La Liga, but that's going to be for pennies. I think not 16 million. I think if you're lucky to get 2-3 million, i.e. the signing on fee, that's what they were looking at the time for him to go back to La Liga. Andy Irving, 10 million quid maybe. So what are we on about? 20, 10, 50, 10, 20, 35, 38 million. Well, Prowse could do a good job for a promoted side. 10 million maybe. See about 40 million quid. If some, I could see someone promoted like a Burnley wanting to get him in. Maybe 𝙊𝙉𝙄𝙉 could well go back to Brazil. Maybe, probably 20 million. Maybe. So about the 60 million pound. 𝙊𝙋𝙄𝙉, 31. Depends how he comes back, but I think you might get 15 million quid for him. Maybe. So you've sold 3, 6, 7 players for about 70, 75 million quid. That's not going to be a lot, is it? It's not going to be a lot to replace them 7 plus potentially the 5 as well. So that's 12 players for 70 million quid. That ain't going to go far, is it? Yes, we'll be bringing back in Lewis Orford, Ollie Scholes, Caelan Casey, 𝙊𝙉𝙄𝙉, Freddie Potts. That's 5. That's 5 players we could potentially bring back who I think are more than capable of stepping up into the squad. But still, it means like it's £10 million a player unless you're going to go pearl diving. That's why I think, the reason why the likes of Paqueta, Kudus, and Bowen are being linked to moves away. I can't see Bowen being linked to move, but teams interested in him is because they are our most sellable assets. I think we've done well with Wan-Bissaka. I think we bought him 15 million quid. I think you could sell him on the open market for 30 at least. But I wouldn't want him to go. I think he's going to be priceless. I think Todibo as well. Obviously, we've committed to spending 30 million quid as long as we don't go down. I can't see Souček being moved on because we know he likes him. Alvarez could be a question mark. You could get a question mark over Alvarez. Maybe with a returning Freddie Potts that could do the Alvarez role without, the likelihood is Potts will play a lot more games than Alvarez. But again, it's up to the manager, isn't it? We're only just speculating. We're looking at what we could do. What we don't know who they're going after. We don't know their plans for Lewis. We don't know their plans for 𝙊𝙉𝙄𝙉, their plans for Freddie Potts to come back, George Earthy. We don't know any of these yet. But on paper, I can see the working out. It's like a maths exam. I can see the working out why potentially we would have to sell a Kudus to reinvest it, because that's 85 million on the hip straight away. Then, plus any others, you're looking at getting 150 million quid. That's enough to make a dent, really, with bringing in quality players. When we sold Declan Rice, we sold him for 100 million. We brought in Kudus, we brought in Alvarez, we brought in 𝙊𝙉𝙄𝙉, and also allowed us to bring in 𝙊𝙉𝙄𝙉 and people like that as well. And that's what you're looking at. That's why you need a serious chunk of change, and we won't get that by selling our dross. And first, we've got to sell the dross. And to be honest, those are the type of players that I'm thinking like a Mav, like someone like that. Those are towards the end of the transfer window. They're not going to be. I don't think there's going to be many clubs out there who are going to say our number one targets this summer is Konstantinos Mavropanos. I just don't see it happening. Or Andy Irving. As much as I like Andy, I don't think I'm going to see, or someone's going to come and say, we're going to get James Ward-Prowse day one. I can't see it happening. And so it's a risk. It's a calculated risk in terms of buying and working on the players. Obviously, now we've got Carl McCauley involved now. Him and Maximilian Hahn, they're working together to try and identify players who are under the radar, who are probably unfavoured out of the top 6 leagues and stuff like that. And we as fans have got to be a bit more realistic, maybe a bit of realistic. Say, when the Banzuzi, everyone's like, who the fuck's this bloke? But actually, he looks an half decent player, and if they've identified him, we stick with it. He might not be a household name, and I don't think we're going to get many household names in the summer transfer window, but they're going to be players who are brought to the system, which again is something we haven't really done. In all honesty, if you look at some of the players we buy, it tends to be good players, but maybe not ones who are completely suited to the system. That's been our issue with forwards and strikers for the last 15, 20 years. We buy decent strikers, not necessarily the right striker for the formation and for the way we want to play, which is why Sebastian Haller never worked. Which is why Scott Macken never really worked. Which is why Hernandez didn't really work. Which is why, I genuinely believe if Falkirk hadn't got injured, I think he would have worked under a Potter system. But I think his days are numbered now, really. If we're led to believe the return date is probably going to be April time. About the same time, probably. No, actually, Somerville, maybe Somerville might be around that time as well, to be honest. But I just can't. I think we think, and it's always the case. We're the same when it comes to transfers. We always are, as fans. Oh, we didn't go for. Oh, we should have got him. Oh, we didn't do him. Why didn't we spend the money? And I think, we, as fans, we want. It's, we're used to it. We play FIFA, we play fantasy football. We buy and sell players without any issue at all. But I think with here, you're looking at that situation, and it's like, I don't want to sell a Paqueta. I don't want to sell Kudus. But I can't see unless there's going to be some serious money put in their pockets. But even that nowadays has to be justified with PSR and FFP, and that's the issue. It's not a case of something. Okay, well, there's 100 million, off you go. It needs to work within the system. It's system with the finances. Otherwise, you start losing points. And I'm looking at this now, and I'm looking at it now. I'm thinking, I can't see there been a lot of money spent. Unless we get, I don't know. I'm sure someone else is going to look at that and put together a plan, But I think personally, I think we're more likely to see Kudus go than Paqueta. Paqueta is also, we've got the whole thing with the trial as well. That'll be in the summer. Teams would naturally not have Paqueta already in their transfer lists, on the worry that he would be found guilty. But Kudus, I could see that one happening. Maybe to someone like Liverpool, maybe to someone like Arsenal. Just because I think, in all honesty, when you look at that, Bowen's not going anywhere. He signed a 7-year deal. Bless me. You're looking at the rest of the side, and I just don't think we've got the value in the players we want to get rid of, and I think that's an issue with previous recruitment waves. You know, like I wouldn't. There's no point selling any of our defenders apart from Mavropanos and Emerson, as I said, because Emerson can be covered by 𝙊𝙋𝙄𝙉𝙄𝙊𝙉. Mavropanos could be kind of covered by 𝙊𝙋𝙄𝙉𝙄𝙊𝙉, but I still think there's a job for them to bring in another centre half as well. And there's some good centre halves in the academy as well as Caden. You know, 𝙊𝙉𝙄𝙉𝙄𝙊𝙉, for example. I think he's got a bright future. Eventually, just Golombekis, he's got a bright future as well. Josh Briggs has got a bright future. There's some good players there in the academy, no doubt about that. Midfield worries me. You know, the likes of Rodriguez going, I can see him easily going. JWP could probably see him going as a sellable asset. Andy Irving maybe as well. I can't see 𝙊𝙋𝙄𝙉𝙄𝙊𝙉 going. I just think Potter likes him and he knows what he brings. I'd imagine maybe more of a slightly reduced role maybe for him next season, but we'll see. Anyway, let me know what you think. It's not all doom and gloom because I said it's a great opportunity. You know, it's a great opportunity for the academy. You know, this is what the academy is for. The academy is to bring players. And when we had Tony Carr, that's what his job. The academy is to make football players for the West Ham first team. If we can't make it the West Ham first team, then it's, you know, into further professional football. We've got a bunch of kids out on loan as well, you know. Realistically, can I see any of them making an impression this next season? Not really, I'll be honest. Maybe Junior, but I would fancy sending Junior out another year out, maybe. This is only his first spell, and it's only a few months in the National League. It's not very groundbreaking. It's good for him to get some first team league football, so to speak. But I'm looking about PK, can't see. He's a good player, but I just don't see him where he'd fit into West Ham. It's a crowded space, that midfield space, particularly with the likes of Potts and stuff. Callum, maybe thinking out aloud. But there's definitely ones further down the line. You know, as I said, Junior Robinson. You know, Michael Forbes, I think, is a great. He could be a very good Craig Dawson-esque type centre half, and obviously these guys come into it, and then the pathway. You know, hope every exit is an entry somewhere, and it could be a lot of players leaving. You know, if we got rid of those 5 players, you know, if it's Fabianski, Soufal, Cresswell, Ings, Antonio, and bring in Heggie, and then bring in, say, Kalen. For the purposes of that, 𝙊𝙋𝙄𝙉𝙄𝙊𝙉 rather. Yeah, Ollie, Kalen, Lewis, George, Freddie. Donut's so bad, but there's no. I wouldn't say there's some great young boys in there, but I would say you'd probably still need a bit of quality, a bit of experience in that side as well. Anyway, it's me blabbing on for 80 minutes. I didn't mean to do it so long. But when I start talking about the academy, I get excited. And I'm excited about the opportunity that they're going to have next season, hopefully, with an exodus of older veteran players leaving. So anyway, if you like what we do, don't forget to like, comment, share. Keep an eye on the channel. We've got loads of stuff coming up. It's got some some cracking interviews over the next couple of weeks as well. I'm very, very happy about what the next couple of weeks will bring to the West Ham network. So take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, and come on, you bloody irons. Much love. Bye-bye.